Thanks.
That is perfect. So what happened yesterday was at the 1 hour mark, the audio was turned off.
Oh,
So I will, if I can't hear, I will come up and do it.
okay, it's 10:30. We'll have a couple of minutes of meditation. Can you hear me? You couldn't hear?
Maybe on your shawl, Swamiji. You put it on your shawl again. Right on this side.
Yeah. With your eyes closed, let us get into meditation. Meditation helps you to gather your mind. The mind which is distracted into 1,000,001 thoughts have to be gathered. And there is no other way of gathering the mind other than focusing on a noble theme. And what other noble theme can be there better than meditating on Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramana? In the cave of your heart, the center of your heart, the lotus of your heart, is seated Bhagavan Ramana, the embodiment of Brahman, the incarnation of Ishvara, the modern Dakshinamurti, the teacher of all teachers, the Paramaguru, Adi Guru. So meditate on the beatific form of Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramana, in the cave of your heart, the center of your being. Maharshi Ramana, with his beatific smile, his benign repose, his deep silence, his gaze into infinity. A meditator should not be distracted by these extraneous noises, because even that noise is an expression of the same consciousness. Nothing should distract the meditator, because the meditator sees, experiences everything in the light of consciousness. Every experience should push you back into that same consciousness. So we are meditating upon the beatific form of Bhagavan Ramana. Ramana, one who revels in himself. Ramande Atmanidi Ramana. So Krudaya Kuhara Madhe Kevalam Jnanamatram Aham Ahamiti Sakshat Atmarubena Bhadi. Hridivisha Manasa Chinnado Mannodova Pavana Chalana Rodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam. As Maharshi said in Upadesa Saram, Vayurodhanad liyademana. Mind can experience total absorption by the practice of pranaya and the kumbhakas, which is after taking a deep breath, you hold the breath for a while. When you hold the breath for a while, the mind becomes quiet, serene. And with that mind, we visualize the beatific form of Maharshi Ramana, who is the incarnate, embodied Brahman. So Maharshi Ramana in deep repose, silence, blissful, looking into infinity. His attention focused nowhere. But arising from the Supreme Self. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamudaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Hari. Now please open your eyes. Let's read these mantras by Maharshi and Swami. You can repeat after it. Patrurajñaya prapyate phalam makim param karma tajjadam Maho tathau padana karanam Namashashwadam Yadi Nirodhagam Ishwararpidam Muchayakrutam Chintashodhagam Muktisadhagam Yavangmana Karyamuttamam Janam Jaba Chintanam Kramat Jagadayishadhi Yukta Sevanam Ramurti Bhrat Deva Pujanam Tamastava Duchamantada Tajam Jaba Dhyanamuttamam Jadharaya Srotasa Samam Sarala Chintanam Viralata Param Yada Bhavanat Sohamityasau Vanabhita Pavani Mata Shunya Sat Bhavasustidhi Vanabalat Bhaktiruttama Mana Susthata Kriya Yoga Bodhascha Nishchidam Ayurodhanat Yiyate Manaha Shivat Rodha Sadhanam Chittavayava Chitkriya Yuta Murdui Shakti Mulaka Shane Ubhayarodhane Yadatam Punar Bhavadino Mritam Anat Dina Manasam Ekachintanat Nashametyataha Shamanasot Krishtayoginaha Yamastikim Sustitim Yataha Shavaridam Chittamatmanaha Darshanam Tattva-darshanam Santukim Margane Krute Manasam Marga Arjavad Dayastvaham Vrittimashidaha Dayo Mano Vidyaham Manaha Samayam Kuto Bhavati Chinvataha Tyaham Nija Vicharanam Vinashabha Yahamahantaya Swayam Paramapurna Sad Idamaham Pada Bhikkyamanvaham Amilinake Pyalaya Sattaya Grahendriya Pranadhitamaha Megasa Tachadam Yasad Sattvabhasiga Chitkovedara Sattvayahichi Chittayahyakam Ishajivayor Veshadhibhita Svabhavado Vastu Kevalam Eshahanata Swatmadarshanam Darshanam Swatmarupataha Samsthiti Swatmadarshanam Atmanirdvayat Atmanishthata Jida Jnanahina Jida Namastikim Nyadumantaram Swami Yatmadarshane Vyaya Bhava Purnachisukham Dhamukyadidam Param Sukham Vindadihaji Vastu Devikaha Vedakam Nija Vibhanakam Vitam Tabo Ramana Vagiyam According to Maharshi Ramana, our path to our own self is through Ishvara. So as a body, mind, ego complex, you are a consumer producer, Karta Bhokta. And as a Karta Bhokta, you are part of the Ishvara, Samashti Ishvara. So one has to surrender oneself to Ishvara. How do you surrender? Offer your works to Ishvara. How do you do that? Engage in altruistic activities. Doing your duties. That's your motive. The motive is to enhance the well-being of the world by performance of your duties. It can be your parents, your gurus, your neighbors, suffering humanity. You serve them. As a result of that, you develop a deep relationship with Ishvara. And then you become a bhakta. From a bhakta, you become a bhakta. From a consumer, you become a devotee. From a devotee, you become a devotee, you can say. So that way, we develop our deep connection with the Ishvara. Mind become very calm and serene at that time. So we have seen the whole universe is the feet of the Lord. Tribhada Syamridam Devi Pada Asya Vishwa Udani Tribhada Syamridam Devi. So 1/4 of Ishvara is the whole universe, visible universe. So to serve Lord means to serve the world. It can be feeding a cow, feeding a Brahmin, feeding a scholar, or planting a tree. Whatever you do, all become service of the Lord. That's how you connect yourself with the Lord. Through your work, you connect with the Ishvara. The others are only symbolism. Plucking a flower, offering a fruit, pouring water, or alankaram, namaskaram, all these are symbols. The real devotion is doing your duties as an offering to Lord. And whatever comes is taken as a prasad. Whatever comes as a result of performing your duties, it may not be as per your wish. Your wish sometimes contradicts Ishvara's wish. So we have to accept whatever comes in our life, which we cannot change by your personal effort. Those things are Ishvara presence. A lot of things in life which is beyond our control. A lot of things are within our control. A lot of things are beyond our control. So that is within our control, you can make effort to change. But there are things beyond your control, we have to accept as the gift of God, as a prasad. That's how we keep our mind quiet. Sukha-dukhe samekrutva labha-rabho jaya-jayo tado yuddha-yujjasu naiva pabam vapsati. So that sense of acceptance, when you accept, then you detach, then you transit. That's how we acceptance, detachment, and transcendence happens. So that's what we saw as a bhakti yoga. Finally, there is hardly any difference between Bhagavan and a devotee. There is hardly any difference between a mother and a child. So, okay. Yeah, you have to put it here. Hardly any difference between, can you hear me now? Yes. Hardly any difference between a mother and child, isn't it? Hardly any difference between a calf and a cow. Hardly any difference between a lover and the beloved. Hardly any difference between a devotee and Bhagavan, he says. All differences are broken down, demolished, and there is perfect unity. That's what Bhava said. Bheda bhavana sohamityaso bhavana bhida pavani mada bhava shunya sad bhava sustidhi bhavana balad bhakti ruttama. A time comes, no effort is there, effortlessly. You're all the time soaked in God consciousness. Whatever you do, whatever you get, wherever you go, whomever you talk, in all those experiences, you abide in the self. No experience can distract you. You know that funny noise we got when you're meditating should not distract you. That also happens in consciousnesses. So it reminds you, my God, I'm able to aware this because of the consciousness which I am. That I am. So you are always in a state of bliss. That's what Maharshi said, all these slokas. Now, if you still feel the mind is distracted, do some pranayama, he says. Do some pranayama periodically. Every 3 hours, you can take a deep breath and feel again mind become quiet. Every 3 hours. Take a deep breath. And then you are again quiet. Again the mind get distracted. Take a deep breath. So the breath become the channel or the key to the self. Keep the mind quiet all the time. And then laya vinashane ubhayarodane layagatam punarbhavati. When you take a deep breath, mind becomes naturally quiet. But then when we breathe out, again the mind becomes. So that quiet state of mind you enjoy is to be used for meditation. Then focus upon the one, he says. Eka chintanad nashametyada. What is that one we have seen? The I, which is in the midst of all experiences. You cannot get rid of I. I got up in the morning. I had a bath. I ate my breakfast. I jumped into the car. I went to the office. I worked there. I came back, took a bath. I had my dinner and I had a hot cup of milk. Then I watched a TV a little bit. Then I slept. Isn't it? Who slept? You slept. Not your neighbor. You slept. Then I woke up. Who woke up? You woke up. I woke up. I is something which is continuously with you. You cannot get rid of that I. Meditate on the nature of that I. What is the nature of that I? We realize Satchidanandam, Shivoham, Sundaroham, Sudandroham. All that idea you get, he says. So that happy self that you want, one has to meditate. At this point, you are sitting like a question. Miserable, isn't it? Dukhi aham. That's your experience. But that's not your true nature. Your true nature is aham, atma, chidakashaha, sundaraha, sudandraha, ananda sarupa. That's what we have to meditate. Constantly you think about that. Instead of thinking I am miserable, useless, I am a worm, nobody respects me, I got a headache. Instead of thinking like that, counterfactual thinking is. This is what you're experiencing, that you are miserable, you don't feel good this morning, but counterfactual. Bring another kind of thought. Pratipaksha bhavana, opposite thought. Then you will remain in that disease. Now, thus kritakrityaha bhavati. You become a fulfilled person, not because you have money or power or pleasures. By yourself, you become a fulfilled person. Kritakritya. Sustidim yadaha. You abide in your nature. So you never lose that center. You're always centered. If you are not centered, you become an eccentric person, yes, off the center. You're all the time centered. Kritakritya. So one of the slogan is, as we are sharing, you have to work happily in the world, not for happiness. Don't put the horse behind the cart. You have to happily work in this world, not for happiness. So Brahmajnani is still active in the world. Maharshi Ramana also was active. He used to climb up the mountain and go around the mountain and then cook and then feed the cows and talk to the peacocks. All those things he did. Read newspaper also, some editing his books. He is active in his own way. So Brahmajnani is supremely active. All the Swamis are very active. Isn't it? Whichever Swami you take away, Vivekananda, they burned from both ends. They were not sitting like a piece of stone or a stump of tree. They were very, very, because they have access to the infinite energy, loving energy. Therefore, they are active. They'll die with their boots on, as they say, continuously active. Swamis are, or enlightened people are Buddha, continuously active. All those great people. So Bhagavan himself says, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Name partasi kartavyam trishilogeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. Though I have nothing to gain or lose, I am always active. Like the sun burns continuously, converting oxygen into hydrogen into helium all the time. Or the earth going round the sun 12,000 miles per hour. Doesn't take any French leave or anything. If the earth takes a leave, we all will collapse. So those kind of activities are continuously happening, he says. So krityam astikim sostidim yadaha. When you are established in yourself, then alone you can be really active. Otherwise, we are only reacting, running away from something. Anger, jealousy, etc. Greed. Most of us are active in terms of reaction. You sit in the office till 9 o'clock night. Why? I don't want to go home. So your workaholism, it's a workaholism. Not that you are really enjoying what you are doing. So when you enjoy what you are doing, then you are in samadhi. That's another definition of samadhi. Whatever you do, you enjoy. Whether you are playing music or dancing or cooking or teaching or whatever you do, are you enjoying it is the question. If you are enjoying, then you are in samadhi. Samadhi need not mean you are all the time closing your eyes and sitting cross-legged. Need not be. If you enjoy it, when you get access to the spirit, then you are in samadhi. Even driving, you can be in samadhi. But don't close your eyes at that. So driving, you can be in samadhi, he said. Because when you are in samadhi, the car and the road and the driver, everything will become a flame of driving experience, he says. That also is possible. Kritya mastikim swastidim yataha. Now here is another method. Maharshi is giving you several methods to reach the same place. Now mind. Mind is our main problem, isn't it? I want a holy day from the mind. Mind is always overactive. All the time thinking. Thinking, blinking and all that, isn't it? All the time the mind is active. I'm not able to rest. I don't get a vacation from the mind. Mind is with you. Wherever you go, even if you go to a cave, mind comes with you. In fact, before you reach the cave, mind is already reached. Isn't it? You already planned what will happen there. Maybe mosquitoes, maybe something else. Before you reach anywhere, the mind has already reached. So you cannot escape from the mind. So let's understand what the mind is. And another thing is, the world that you experience, as though they are outside, it is in your mind. When the mind is inactive, there is no world for you. For example, deep sleep, there's no world. Your wife, your children, your bank balance, your position, everything is gone. Even President Biden sitting on that chair, executive chair, when he sleeps, he's not the president of the United States. No. Not the husband of his children. Our wife, President Biden. When you sleep, the whole world is wiped out. Meaning what? When the mind is active, world is there. Maybe there is an independent world we don't know. Independent of the mind, Ishvara Srishti may be there. But what you experience is Jiva Srishti. Whatever is presented to the mind, whatever is coming through the five sense organ and process the mind, that alone you experience. We have no idea what is there any world outside. So therefore, mind is of supreme importance. This mind. How do I deal with this thing? Maharshi says, Manasantu kim margane kride eva manasam marga arjavat. So there are many ways of inquiring into the mind. The psychologists, they inquire into the mind. Freud and all kind, Carl Jung, all kind of people. They say there is a conscious mind and the unconscious mind. We all have an unconscious mind and a conscious mind. Unconscious mind is 90% of your mind. You are not conscious of that. And you develop that unconscious mind while you are growing up. Whatever you heard, seen, unprocessed experiences. Experiences which we did not have the time to process. They are all dumped into the unconscious. I'll deal with it later. The traumas, the other kind of experiences, which in our language we say vasana. causal body. There's a causal body, Karana Sharira, Vasana Maya Sharira. These are all the experiences which you have gathered, which you have not processed. Like a cow grazing, eat a lot of grass, then they lie down and they take out the cud and chew it. But we did not have the time to do that because we are constantly experiencing the world. Therefore, there is a lot of undigested material in our unconscious. So psychologists have reached up to there. Beyond that, they have no access. But there is a land beyond that unconscious. The conscious, unconscious, your conscience. That is another category. My conscience doesn't allow me to do that. Don't you say sometime? So you have an unconscious, you have a conscious, and your conscience, and beyond is consciousness, which awares all this. So Maharshi says, of course there is an unconscious. And to process that unconscious, various sadhanas are given to you. When you go to a psychologist, they'll put you on a bed. Psychologist bed. And they'll ask you to speak. Nobody is here. Nobody is listening to you except me. And I will keep it in confidence. I will not tell anybody what you are saying. Otherwise, you will not open up. There are a lot of thoughts in your mind which you are you don't want to reveal to anybody, including your partner. Including your partner, you cannot. If you want to keep the family intact. Isn't it? You cannot reveal all the thoughts that goes on in your mind. So you hide all of them. You have to live with them. That creates a lot of conflict. So we are, the spiritual literature gives a lot of values, a lot of sadhanas, chanting mantras, doing pranayama, or observing, and pradiprasava, various methods are there to process the unconscious so that you can make wisdom out of that. The past should not remain as a painful memory in you. The past is to be processed and digested so that it becomes wisdom. Wisdom can sit light on your head. Memory is very painful. A lot of painful memories, which you have to process. For that, you have to go beyond the mind. Within the mind, you cannot do that. Because mind is a problem. Mind cannot solve the problem. So, Maharshi says there is a land or an area beyond the unconscious also, which is not accessible to the psychologist. So you go to a psychologist and lie on the bed and you speak your mind and psychology is sleeping. At the end of the day, he will charge $500. That's what is happening in this country. It's a big industry. It's a corporate industry. They want you to be psychologically sick so that they can treat you. It adds to the GDP also. The GDP increases. So he says that there is something beyond. And when you go beyond that, you can become your own therapist. You don't have to outsource that. You can become your own therapist. But you have to go beyond the mind. But we have no idea, is there anything beyond the mind? There is. It requires some effort to see what is beyond the mind. Maharshi. Manasam tu kim margane krute. When you try to analyze what is the mind, Manasam tu kim margane krute. When you inquire into the nature of the mind, margane means inquiring. How do you inquire? Watch the mind. Watch the mind. There are certain conscious thoughts. Unconscious thoughts also will manifest when you sit quiet. Like even the rotten wood at the bottom of the lake send bubbles, isn't it? Similarly, when you are quiet, when there is no pressure of the world on you, there is no sensations banging on you, When the mind is calm, then the whatever is in the bottom will manifest. So conscious mind you watch, and the unconscious also you can watch. And when you do that, manasam tu kim margane krude, when you develop that sakshi bhavam, that's called watching the mind without judging it. Most of the time when you watch, you judge. Then you become part of the mind. Don't judge. Don't say I'm a bad person, good person, noble person. All those kind of labeling is to be avoided. No labeling, no judging, no judgment, simply watch. When you do that, manasantu kim margane krude, we understand mind is an object. Mind keep on changing. It's not the same all the time. Now you are in loving mode, then you hate, then you shout, then you say, I'm sorry, then you again shout, then you say again story. Isn't it? So this way, mind is constantly moving. It is chalam, it's like a river. And it is drishyam, it can be seen. And it is sanghadam, it's made up of many, many thoughts. That's the mind. So you get a clear picture of the mind without labeling it. Our problem is anything we see, we label it. The labeling is the problem. So we don't label the mind, good or bad or anything. We just watch it, whatever it is. So it is nashyam, it is drishyam, it is sanghadam, and I am the observer of the mind. It may take some time to observe the mind. And when you observe the mind, even the unconscious thoughts can manifest at that time, because you are not bringing a policeman there. You are not suppressing the mind. You are allowing the mind to express. That way, manasantu kim margane krude. And in this process, you can do pranayama, chanting the mantras and all that, so that you can really watch the mind. Naiva manasam. The mind simply disappears. That's the magic. That's the magic. When you watch the mind, mind disappears. Meaning, mind is experienced as something which appears and disappears. Mind is something which is constantly changing. Mind has no stuff. It is fluff. There is no reality in the mind. Isn't it? That realization comes. So, naiva manasam marga arjavad. If you really watch the mind without any labeling or judgment, then the mind simply disappears. That's why when you're angry, you look at the mind, anger disappears. Have you noticed that? When you look at the mind, when you watch the mind, anger disappears. So sometimes people say, Swamiji, I become always angry. I say, okay, when you're angry, come to me. But when I am angry, come to you, your thought comes, the anger goes. There's no anger. So anger is when you are not awareful, alert, mindful. When you are mindful, anger disappears. The mind simply disappears in that state of observation, like a mist disappears in the sun rises. So, manasantu kim margane krute hiva manasam marga. These are all you can experience that. It's not a rocket science. Or the mind, I spend millions, hundreds of dollars with a psychologist to understand my mind. This should be the technique I should use. I should watch the mind, sit down somewhere, relax, do some pranayama, chant a couple of mantras, and then the mind disappears. That mind which was bothering you, it is sitting like a ton of brick on you. That mind will disappear. Practice it. Practice it. Then you will know it. Naiva manasam marga arjavat vrittayastvoham vrittimasridaha tayo mano. This is an inward journey. Your pilgrimage to Inner sanctum sanctorium starts here. You have withdrawn the mind from the world by observing the world. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they say, Vitarka Vicharam. Vitarka means observing the world and transcend. Observe the mind and transcend. And go deeper. So the mind is nothing but vrittis. Vrittis means there are 5 vrittis that the mind can create. One vritti is, I know. Now I see you. That's a vritti that creates a mind in my vritti in my mind. A certain picture in my mind. Like even you throw a stone into the water, it creates ripples in the water after the stone goes into the water. Similarly, whenever you observe, hear, etc., it creates vrittis in the mind. One vritti is I see the tree, I see you, I see the dog, I see the donkey, that's seeing. I am hearing, I am touching, I am smelling, I am tasting. These are all create vrittis now. I know. And sometimes you say, I don't know. Suppose I give a lecture in Chinese. Out of respect for Swami, you may sit there. At the end of the day, what does Swami say? Who knows? I didn't understand anything. That you did not understand anything also is shining in consciousness. Otherwise, you cannot say, I did not understand. So whether you know, whether you don't know, both create vrittis. One is called jnana vritti, other is ajnana vritti. I did not know also is a vritti in the mind, a mode of mind. Otherwise, you cannot say, I did not know. How did you know you did not know? That I know, isn't it? So this way, that also is an object of your knowledge. I know, I don't know. And when you don't know, then also you can act. Isn't it? I don't know, but still you are acting. You may say, I don't know, but then also you can be active. The third mode of mind is wrong knowledge, right knowledge and wrong knowledge. Most of our knowledge is wrong knowledge. That also will spur you to activity. President Bush, the older president, he thought Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Then he sent his army there, drove him out, went all over Iraq. No weapons of mass destruction. That was straight of ignorance, not knowing, or wrong knowledge. On wrong knowledge also you can act. Most of our activities are on wrong knowledge. Oh, he looked good from far, but he was far from good. Isn't it? From distance, he looked very good, but when he came nearer, I realized he's not that good. Wrong knowledge also can spur you that. So right knowledge, wrong knowledge, no knowledge. Then there is imaginary knowledge. You imagine things. Suppose I hear a noise there outside. I think maybe a thief is standing there. Or maybe a tiger there. Because I hear something, but I don't have clear knowledge. So I start imagining. That also is a kind of knowledge. And you can act on that also. Imaginary knowledge. Sometimes delusionary knowledge. You're deluded about things. Sometimes that delusion can lead you to creativity also. You create things. Most of the creative people are mad people. Mentally disturbed people. Van Gogh. Van Gogh was a great painter, but he was a madman. He cut his own ear in a state of ecstasy. And Peter the Great was another madman. He went to France to learn dentistry. After learning dentistry, whoever visits him, he has to pull one tooth of that person. And he was the emperor, madman. So most of the people who are supposedly creative, they are mad people. And we all have different degrees of madness in there. Let's not excuse ourselves from that or exclude ourselves. We all have different degrees of madness. So, he says, vrittayaha, these are vrittis, moods of mind. These vrittis, aham vritti masridaha. The center of these vrittis, like a wheel has a center, the hub. Similarly, all these vrittis are centered around, dancing around aham vritti, aham, I. And you all know that you are there, isn't it? That aham vritti also is a I. That's why you say, I see a tree, I am seeing a tree, I am seeing the tree. All the three are object of your awareness. I am listening music, I am listening music, I am not seeing music, I am listening music, that also you know. And I am listening music, that also you know. Not my neighbor is listening, I am listening. Of this tripodi, Drishta, Drishyam, Darshanam. This is called the tripodi, the tripartite knowledge. That's all shining in your awareness, he says. So, vrittayastu aham vritti masida. There is an I. Each one of you have got an I, that small I. I have, you have, now I am the speaker, you are the listener. Isn't it? So, that small I is speaking. And the small I is listening. And when you go back, you become the speaker, isn't it? You tell everything to your wife what you heard or what you misheard, understood, misunderstood, everything you will download on her. So this way, we all are moving in that level. So there is an I, small I, and the small I is only a pale replica of the big I. Ramana Maharshi is taking us to that big I. That is your true home. These are all temporary abode. This is not your true home. Here you are not settled. You get really settled when you reach the big I, the true home of us. So, vrittayastu aham vritti masridaha. Vrittaya manaha. Mind is this vritti. And since it is depending upon the aham vritti, aham manaha. Finally, it is the aham vritti is the mind. Ahankara is the mind. Ahankaram, mamakaram, all this. That's the mind. This aham vritti is a reflection of the real aham. How do I jump into that? Up to this you can come. Up to this you can come. Then how do I jump into the... That's what it says a grace. It's because tremendous grace of Maharshi, Bhagavan. Otherwise, you cannot take that quantum leap. You can come only up to that Sakshi Bhavan. Sakshi Bhavan with reference to the Sakshyam. And Sakshyam also withers away. Sakshi also goes. And what remains is a state of pure bliss. So, vrittayastvaham vrittimasitaha vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha amayam kudo bhavati chinnataha. Where did the small I come from? The small I is one who says, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a man, I'm a woman. That also is small I. You are neither a man or a woman. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Most of the time we identify with these labels. Your real nature is Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So Ahamayam Kudo Bhavati Chinnataha. When you further inquire, by the time you are tired, isn't it? By the time you are really tired, you don't have the energy to take the last leap. Then you come back to the same old style. So here is where you need some more energy. Because you feel a certain suction inward at that point. Or you feel the Lord is gathering you into that. That grace comes to only very few people who say so. When that grace comes, you are reaching the final destination. Vishnoho Paramam Padam. The lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, you have reached. Sahamayam kudo bhavati chinnadaha. Where does this I come from? It comes and goes, this I. In sleep it goes. Waking world it comes. In dream it's played different role. And in the world you are different role. Isn't it? When you are in the Lions Club, you are a lion. They call you lion. At home you are a mouse. Isn't it? So you want to go to the Lions Club so you can feel I am a lion or a lioness. So you gain various levels. This small I can put on any mask, he says. So, aham ayam kudo bhavati chinna, the I padatyaham. The small I simply quit. He says, namaskar. Small I. Then, nija vijaranam. When you inquire further, that requires a little more energy. When you inquire to that, I padati, the small I, yield the place. Then he says, and he becomes humble, simple. That what humility comes in. So the relinquishment of the small I is seen as humility. You are humble, you are open, you are ready to learn, you are ready to unlearn, you are ready to listen to the other person. At this point you are not. You say, listen to me. You listen to me. You are ready to listen to the other person. Not only people, animals, trees, nature. Nature itself can become a university. The universe become a university for you at that time. You are very alert. 1,000 eyes all over. 1,000 ears all over. You are able to absorb everything without distorting. That ability comes to you. Ayi padadi aham nicha vijarani. When the inquiry is deep, you come to that stage. Ahami nashabha jahamahantaya. Ahami nashabhak. When the small I is seen as empty, is only a labor. When you know that, ahami nashabhak, by observation, aham ahandaya spuradi, the real I, both the word aham is used. The real I really manifests on its own. It's a gift that you have. Because that's your natural state. You realize that. Aham daya spuradi. Hruda. Hruda means the reality, the truth. The Swayam by itself. Parama Purna Sat. That's how Maharshi defines your real nature. Paramam, supreme. Parama means beyond all divisions. Desha Kala Vastu Paricheda Shunyam. There is no division of time, space, or objects there. Have you experienced that state? Whenever you are in bliss, you are in that state. When you play with your grandchildren, there is no time, there is no space, there is no object, there is no dirt. Playing with your grandchildren. Otherwise, you have a backache, you are this ache, that ache. What happened to you when you are playing with the grandchildren? And grandchildren can put your finger into your nose, pull your glasses, pull your hair, and whatever is eating, fallen on the ground, he takes and puts in your mouth, and you eat that also. Time goes, space goes, your vanity goes. You are a cabinet secretary coming home. The grandson says, Dada, I want to play with you. Be on your force. He climbs on your neck and drives you like a donkey. Your cabinet secretary. All that goes is Desha Kala Vastu, Parichya Shunyam, Sagada, Vigada, Sajadiya, Vigada, all kind of Bhedas are gone. Whenever you are happy, you are in that state. But it's only spasmodic. It is only sustainable. That's the problem. That's the problem. But it's not that you are foreign to this experience. You are native to this experience. That's your real nature. So, Spuradi Hruda Swayam Parama Purna, you get a sense of fullness. Abba, now I can relax. I am your sense of Purnas. Purna. Sat. It's a changeless, sustainable experience. Earlier it was not sustainable. You got spasmodically some experience, which motivates you to pursue this path. So, Maharshi concludes that state. So see, mind observed, detached, ego observed, detached, and then beyond is the egoless state from where the ego arises. And there we all are one. Up to the ego level, we are different. You are there, I am here. Your ego is different from my ego. Yours is a doctor ego, I am a patient ego. Isn't it? I am a patient. Patient means you lie down there patiently. That's all what is the meaning in that. You are admitted to the hospital, lie down there patient. That's what the doctor says. These days, patients say, doctor, you also need some patience. Isn't it? So this way, we have different egos. That level, we are different. The Vyavaharika level, there is difference. And Pratibhasika level, they're different. At the Paramarthika level, there is no difference at all. So yogi, as a jnani, is capable of understanding the differences. The boundaries are not blurred in the jnani's vision. Otherwise, the jnani, instead of going to his house, he may go to some other house. All houses are the same. No, there are differences. So he is capable of knowing the differences at certain level, but at deep level, there is no difference. And from there, when you look at it, everything is made of the same stuff. Differences are there, but on a certain level. Otherwise, there is a difference between a cauliflower and a tiger, isn't it? All of them are made up of atoms only. Cauliflower is made up of atom. Tiger also made up of the atom. So thinking that both of them are dancing ensemble of atoms, you cannot embrace a tiger. That will be the last embrace you will do. But you can embrace a cauliflower. You can eat the one. So jnani maintains that difference at certain level. Otherwise, it is a foolish enlightenment. You need a wise enlightenment, not foolishly enlightenment. Levels, different levels are. So, ahami nashabaj aham ahandaya spurati krisvayam paramapurna sad idam aham padabhikyam. So, in your experience, there are two things, idam and aham. Idam means all that I see. Aham means I, the seer. So, both the seer, perceiver, and the perceived idam, both are shining in consciousness. So, idam aham padabhikyam, these are words and images, nama, rupas. They are anu aham, it all shining in the same consciousness. Ahamilinake, ahami meant the ego is subsided. Alaya sattaya, the real self manifests, which is our true home, where we want to abide. That's Maharshi abiding there and dealing with the world. You could abide there and deal with the world. And that's the path we are following here. Now, finally, Maharshi concludes this part of the discourse. Vikrahendriya pranadhi tamaha ahameka sat tajjadam tasad. So, vigraha means the body. Indriya means sense organ. Prana means the breath, the 5 breaths. Prana, Bana, Udana, Samana, etc. Dhi, my mind. Tama means my ignorance. A lot of things you are ignorant of, isn't it? You are ignorant of the world, some aspect in the world, and you are ignorant of yourself also. All this. And my knowledge also. My knowledge, my ignorance, my prana, my mind, my intellect, my body, and all that I possess outside me. The whole infrastructure, the whole thing. Na aham, I am none of these things. This is too much, isn't it? This is too much. With much effort, I earned some money and put in the bank. You say that's not you. So he says, I am none of this. I'm not the body. I'm not what I have. I'm not what I don't have. I'm not my mind. I'm not my ego. I'm not my knowledge. I'm not my ignorance. All this I have, but I am not. One of the central principles is what you have, you are not. What you don't have also, you are not. That I can accept. What I have, how can you say I'm not? So what you have and what you don't have, or what you will you have later, all of them I am not. I am something different. These things which I have a body, but I am not my body. I have mind, I am not my mind. I have knowledge and skill set, I am not that. I have a donkey, but I am not the donkey, isn't it? I have a table, but I am not the table. I have a house, I am not the house. I have a car, I am not the car. I have a computer, I am not the computer. I have knowledge, but I am not that knowledge. So you are climbing the mountain peak now. Vigraha Indriya Pranadhi Tamaha Naham Ega Sat. I am one indivisible entity, one consciousness. Tad Jadam. The rest are all Jadam. Jada means they are finite object. Jada means finite, limited, tuchha, Jada object. Which I can wish away. They don't affect me at all. They don't add anything to me, nor can they take away something from me. They are not substantial things. So, tad jadam asad. They are neither real or asad. In asad in Vedanta, neither real or unreal. That's the meaning. Total non-existence, you don't have to talk about. Vandhyaputra, you don't have to talk about, isn't it? Total non-existence is not there. But the word is there. At the same time, it is not there. This is called Sada Asadhyam Anirvachaniya Mithya, he says. You cannot say the word is, some people say the word is not there. No, that's not true. Because you experience that. But you don't experience it all the time. In deep sleep, you don't experience. When you move from here to there, you don't experience this. The world is neither real nor unreal. That's in between category. That's very, very important. If the world is totally not there, then Brahman also becomes absent. The world appears, disappears. So the appearing, disappearing world is called mithya or sada asadhyam anirvachaniya mithya. So we don't say the world is not there, nor we say world is there. So the question, answer me, yes or no? No, I refuse to answer. Is he good or bad? Is he good or bad? What is your answer? Sometimes he is good, sometimes he is bad. Isn't it? Here he is, with me is good, but with other person is bad. You cannot say whether he is good or bad. Life is so complex. You cannot put it into black and white to get to the It's all gray. So therefore here, the world is, does it exist? No, it doesn't exist. Are you sure? Yes, it exists also. So this Shankara gave a new terminology for this. Neither sattva nor asattva. Then what you said? Sadasadhyam anirvachani, which is called mithya. Therefore, you have to deal with the world. Even a jnani has to deal with the world. There's no escape. neither real or unreal. If the world is totally absent, then Brahman also becomes absent. You become a Buddhist, Shunyavad. Everything is no God, no world, no nothing. At least you are there to say all this, isn't it? When you say there's no world, there's no God, there's no I, then at least you are there. So something will remain. So the world neither existing nor non-existing. And such a world must have an existing substratum, Brahman. That's how we argue on this. So na aham ega sad tad jadam hi asad. The world is mithya. Sattva bhasiga chitva vedara sattaya hi chi chittaya yam. Now you said the sattva and the chitta and anandam. These are the three keywords. Are they separate entities? There is anandam, there is sattva, there is chitta. Maybe anandam is a quality of sattva. Consciousness is a quality of sattva. Sat is the substratum. The rest are all gunas. How do you understand that? What is the relative position? Are they adjectives to the sattva? See, here Bhagavan says, sattva itself is chitta. Chitta itself is anandam. They are not mutually qualifying. They are not different words. We call it samanadhikaranam. They all indicate the same thing. If you say anandam, consciousness. Consciousness, anandam. Chitta, consciousness. They are not different things. Like Subramanya, Sangeetajnaha, Subramanya, Coffee Priya, all the same person. Isn't it? Though you use three words. Coffee Priya, Sangeetajnaha, Subramanya, all are indicating the same thing. They are not different things. Unlike you say, hey Ram, take the stick and bring the cows. Cows indicate something, stick indicates something, Ram indicates something. All the three words indicate three entities. But here, Sadeva Chida, Chideva Anandam. If you say, I have realized Brahman, you are expected to be happy all the time. Brahmajnani has to be happy. Happiness does not mean you laugh all the time or dance all the time. That is because some drug effect. Happiness does not mean you have to, raucous laughter and all that. Not necessary. There's a certain deep peace that you enjoy. There's a certain sense of fulfillment that you have. In your presence, people feel quite like Maharshi's presence. Nobody speaks. Nobody needs any speech. All your doubts are vanished. Because doubts are your own creation. That when you come to his presence, the doubts are. So, sattva bhasiga chitta vedara. Is there any consciousness which shines upon or illumines sat? Meaning sattva, is it an object of consciousness? Or anandam, an object of consciousness? When you say I am happy, it seems it's an object. You are experiencing. No. Sat is not an object of consciousness. Sat itself is. Consciousness itself is anandam. There is no objectification. There is no qualification there. So a Brahmajnani is a happy person. Happiness is his nature. Consciousness is his nature. Fearlessness is his nature. Brahmajnani has to be fearless. That is another signature of Brahmajnani. Are you fearless? That's the question. Suppose a rat runs here. Immediately you jump over everyone and rush out of the room. Then you cannot be called a Brahmajnani. Of course, you can quietly go out. That's finished. Brahmajnani need not sit there. He can get up and go quietly. So everything is done very, very consciously. Activity is there. Sattva bhasiga chitka vedara sattayahi chitta. Existence itself is consciousness. Chittayahi, that I am. Saham, chida, sada, anandam, aham. Brahmavida apnoti param Taittiriya. Brahmavida apnoti param tadeshabhyukta satyam jnanam anandam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam parame vyoman so snude sarvan kaman saha. When you know this, all your desires are fulfilled. Brahmajnani has no desire. We have to qualify it. Brahmajnani has no desire for happiness. Brahmajnani can desire a car and a computer. But don't think when I have the car, I will be happy. Sitting in the car, you will be miserable. So you don't acquire a car for happiness. You acquire a car for utility. Otherwise, I don't want to have Brahmajnana because I want to buy a car. So you can have a car, you can have a house, you can have whatever you want, but your needs will be limited. You are not greedy. Needs will be there. As Gandhi said, God has provided for your needs, but not for your greed. So they can be. Brahmajnani also feels hungry, thirsty. Isn't it? Now, Bhagavan also ate food. You cannot say, some people think Brahmajnani has no hunger. I was staying in a house for 1 week. First 3 days, there's no food. Our nature is sannyasis won't ask. Unless you given, we don't eat. So 3 days I tolerated. 4th day I said, don't you cook in this house? No cooking or what? Yeah, we cook, we eat. But what about my food? I thought you are a Brahmajani. You don't eat. Sorry, I'm not a Brahmajani that way. Please give me food. These are misconceptions. Brahmajnani also, body needs food. Car needs the petrol. Though you are not the car needs petrol. So your relation with the body is rightly done. Then sometimes people think Brahmajnani is all powerful. Sarvajna. So same house I was staying, a huge parcel came. Nobody could lift it. Came to me, Swami, can you lift it? If 10 people cannot lift it, how can I lift it? We all can try together to lift it. So these are some of the misconceptions there. Brahmajnani also got hunger, thirst. Physically, his powers are limited. He doesn't pretend I can lift the whole world. There is no pretension at all. He is so humble, so realistic, so simple. That's the nature. So don't try to get Brahmajnanam thinking that I will become very powerful and all kinds of things. These are all illusions. So finally, Isha Jivayor Veshadhipita Swabhavado Vastu Kevalam. Maharshi very lovingly advises. Isha Jivayor Veshadhipita. Between you and the other, your neighbor. Between us and God, Ishvara. Ishvara, not Brahman. Ishvara and Brahman is slightly different in the Vedantic tradition. Ishvara is Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi. Brahmashraya, Maya, Ishvara. Brahman with Maya is Ishvara. Maya is that which doesn't exist or does neither exist, doesn't exist. That mithya. So Brahmashraya, Maya asti. Brahman's definition is Satchidananda. Ishvara's definition is Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi. That distinction we should know. What is the difference between Jiva and Ishvara, you and Ishvara? That's the question he is analyzing. What is the difference between a pilot and a passenger? A passenger is sitting in the seat with a belt across his waist, isn't it? Sitting there. Pilot is in the cockpit. The pilot has control of the plane, isn't it? Do you have any control? You're sitting there. You have no control. You are utterly and bitterly under the control of the pilot, isn't it? Whatever he says, you have to follow. Sit down there. Don't smoke. You cannot do anything. But pilot has some freedom. He can come out, cockpit, and talk to you and all that. You cannot get into the cockpit. So pilot controls the plane, right? You are controlled by the... So he is the controller, you are the controlled as a jiva. Because you are operating this particular box. Particularly you are sitting there in this particular body. And the pilot is sitting there. But the plane crashes, both the pilot and the passenger will die, isn't it? Both of them. In the state, so we are playing different roles. Ishvara is playing one role, Jiva is playing another role. And the difference is only the Vesha, Maharshi says. The role that you are playing. For the role, you have different Veshas. Vesha means attire. The general of the army has a particular attire, several stars and all that. Ordinary soldier does not have. But the difference is only the Vesha. The difference between a 0-watt bulb and the 100-watt bulb, the difference is only the filament, isn't it? Both of them manifest electricity. So similarly, Maharshi says, Isha Jivayoho Veshadhi Bhida. The difference is only because we focus on the Vesha, the garment, the attire, the role that we have. Otherwise, there is no difference. Sattva Bhavado Vastu Kevalam. When you go beyond the Vesha, both Ishvara and Jiva has the same reality, wearing different attires and Veshas. This is a little difficult for us to understand, but that's the truth. Ishvara is, technical definition is Samashti, Stula, Sushma, Karana, Sharira, Bhimani, Ishvara. Ishvara is wearing this huge gargantuan clothes he is wearing. Samashti, Stula, Sushma, Karana, Sharira, Abhimani, Ishvara. What about Jiva? Veshti, Stula, Sushma, Karana, Sharira, Abhimani, Ishvara. Veshti, Jiva. The Jiva is the same consciousness wearing this particular body, mind, ego complex. Ishvara is the Samashti. So I should say Ishvara, Jiva is 1 plus 0. Because the whole cloth is 0. How do you say that? Your body, mind is made up of Panchabhutas, isn't it? Panchabhuta. Panchabhutas you can deconstruct. Earth, water, air, fire, air, space, trigunas. Trigunas a little disturbance in consciousness. That's why it said 0. So Jiva is 1 plus 0. Ishvara is 1 plus 0 to the power of n. I hope you know little mathematics. With my limited mathematics, I am telling you. Jiva is 1 plus 0 because 0 doesn't add any value if you don't put in the right place. 1 plus 0 doesn't add any value. Ishvara is 1 plus 0 to the power of n. So many zeros. Millions of zeros. 60 zeros, 70 zeros. What is the value now? So 1 plus 0 is equal to 1 plus 0 to the power of n, right? No difference at all. It's all Veshais. You're adding more zeros. So Isha Jiva Yor Veshadhipita Sattva Bhavado. Satsvabhavada. When you turn your attention to the truth beyond the Vesha, beyond the garment, Vastu Kevala. There is only one truth, appears on many, many, many things. So, from the Brahman standpoint, we all are. From the body standpoint, you are a bhakta. When you are acting and enjoying, be a bhakta. When in meditation, you are one with. There's no difference. There's Hanuman's statement. Deha buddhya tavadasavam. Jiva buddhya tadamshataha. Atma buddhya tumeva. This is Hanuman described himself to Rama. Rama asked him, what's your relationship with me? Because there's a very, very peculiar relationship. Hanuman and Rama. So Rama asked, what's your relationship? Hanuman says, from the Deha standpoint, as a doer, I am your servant. As a thinker, I am part of it. As a meditator, we are one. There is no difference at all. So, Vesha Hanada Swatma Darshanam, Isha Darshanam, Swatma Rupadaha. Therefore, Maharshi says, Vesha Hanada. Vesha Hanada means you are observing the Vesha, the body, mind, ego complex is the Vesha. All the bodies put together, all the minds put together, all the ego put together, Ishvara. So when you remove when you are out of this body, mind, ego complex, by meditation and realize your nature as that Satchidanandam, then Vesha Anada Swatma Darshanam. You come to realize your nature. Isha Darshanam Swatma Rupadaha. So if you want to know the true nature of Ishvara, you have to know your own true nature. Then you know your true nature. Then you know the true nature of Ishvara. Otherwise, Ishvara will be the controller. He will be the controller. Atma samsthiti swatma darshana. So when you say, I saw my Atma, I realized my Atma, are you seeing it as an object outside? Oh, I saw the Atman here. No. How do you mean? What do you mean by I see the Atman? You be the Atman. To see is to be. And to be is the knowledge that I have always been. Not that recently I become Atman. So far I have an Atman. Recently I became the Atman, he says. That's your imagination. That's a mind playing fool of you. That's not the real thing. So when you realize I am Atman, you get a retrospective effect. I have always been the Atman. There is no time. I have always been a happy person. My unhappiness was a pretense. I was playing. I am unhappy. It's only a role. Amitabh Bachchan become very unhappy in the movie, isn't it? Like a coolie is carrying the burden, and then, one more luggage is put on his back, and he's hunchback and he's moving, and watching that you cry. And you pay for it also. Amitabh Bachchan is the only person who is smiling all the way to the bank, isn't it? Look at the tragedy. So when you realize this, you know that you've always been smiling inside. If you cried, it is only a play act. It's only play act, your play act. And you have the freedom for that. Because your bank balance is going up. Your play act. Even your cry, from a Jnani standpoint, your play act. That's why Jnani has very little pity for you. When you go to Maharshi will say, who is crying? That's all he will ask. He won't console you, put his pat on your back and say, take this pill and all that. No. Who is crying? When you know that, you are pretending to cry. Actually, you are laughing. I hope I carry some conviction on this. Actually, your nature is happiness. It's only a problem. And you can afford it also. Why? Because you know my nature. When you know your nature, very rich man can pretend he is poor. Poor man cannot pretend he is rich. Rich man can. And actually, rich people do that. That is why, the Ford, the company, a very rich man. He go to a hotel and he says, give me the cheapest room. My God, he's richest man. Why do you say that? So the clerk on the counter said, sir, when your son comes, he takes the best room. Executive room, best room. Oh, he has a rich father, you see. My son has a rich father. I don't have a rich father. Rich people, they are very, very humble. So, Atma Samsthiti, Swatma Darshanam, Atma Nirdoyad, Atma Nishtada. And when you are in that state, Atma Nirdoyad, there is no other. Therefore, there is no deviation. Atma Nirdoyad, Atma Nishtada. Yat Gatva, Nanivartande. There is no other place for you to go. There is no need to go. Once you reach this state, nothing, that's what I said, that noise is not disturbing. Because that noise also is in my consciousness. Thereafter, there is no deviation. Yat Gatva, Nanivartade. Gurunabi Dukkhena Navidalyade. Even the greatest of pain, Maharshi's example, cancer, didn't disturb me. Didn't disturb me. I was told the surgeon who performed some surgery, he says, it's very difficult to identify the face, smiling face, and this ulcerous wound. Very difficult to. Maharshi was smiling or serene. You and I will howl and bring the whole roof down, isn't it? Little bit of pain, little bit of toothache is, but nothing. Nakambade, wise person never trembles. So Atma Samsthiti, Swatma Darshanam. So seeing the Atman means to be. Not that you say, oh, hi Atman, I saw you. No, that's not the way. Jnanamastikim, Maharshi says, is free from knowledge and ignorance. Beyond knowledge and ignorance. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Knowledge, normal knowledge is, things outside. This is not extraverted knowledge. Therefore, it's beyond that. And extraverted knowledge, the material knowledge is not actually no knowledge. It is all organized ignorance only. Material knowledge. Because you never settle in material. All the time you say, there's more. Now you are a PhD. I have no disrespect for PhD people. So you are a PhD. What does it mean? Specialization, isn't it? You specialize. You go to an eye doctor says, oh, your right eye problem, I'm a specialist on left eye. Cornea problem, I specialist on some other part of it. So you specialize, you know more and more about less and less, isn't it? That got specialization. A point comes, you know everything about nothing. Nothing. So much specialization, so much granular knowledge is vanishingly nothing at the end of the day. That's what happens. So here, that kind of knowledge is not what I am talking about. Jnana varjita. And not only that, the self also cannot become an object of knowledge. I cannot stand up and say, hi, self. That's not possible. It's not an objective. knowledge. It's a subjective knowledge. It's called Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha Jnana, where the knower and the knowledge are the same. Like the light, it illumines itself and illumines us. So this is not normal knowledge that we are talking about. Not just words and words and words. That's how Ramana Maharshi was quiet. It cannot be described. The better keep quiet. So jnana varjita ajnana. At the same time, there is no ajnanam also. You cannot say, I don't know that. Nor can you say, I know that. Naham manye suvededi, nona vededi vedacha, yona tadveda, nona vededi vedacha. The Guru asked the Shishya, did you, after 32 years of study, did you understand the answer? Shishya said, yes, by your grace I understood. So he says, if you say you understood the Atman, you have not understood it. Avijnadam vijanadam vijnadam avijnadam. Those who know, they don't claim. Those who claim, they don't know. So Shishya was in a supna. Now another 32 years of study. He comes back. Did you know? He said, no, I don't know. Because he thought that will be the answer. Guruji said that you should know. If you say yes, problem. If you say no, problem. These gurus are very bothersome people. Now finally, third time is another 32 years. He comes, did you know? His answer is very interesting. Naham manye suvedeti. I cannot say I know. I don't say I know. Nona vedeti. Nor can I say I don't know. Guruji, you know what I mean. That's all what he can say, isn't it? I cannot say I know. I cannot say I don't know. Naham manye suvedeti. Nona vedeti vedacha. Yona tadveda. Nona vedeti vedacha. Guruji, you know what I mean. That's all what I can say. But from through my eyes, you must understand whether I know. So, na jnanamasti. Na jnanamasti. Jnanahena jita. Jnanamasti. That is the knowledge you are talking about. So neither objective knowledge nor ignorance. This is something very special understanding. Jnadum andaram. Thereafter, there is nothing more to know, he says. Parisamapti. Ending of knowing. Then it's a state of being. So jnani is in a state of being. And from that, knowing and doing, etc., happens spontaneously. It happens. Kim sarupami tyatma darshane. How do you describe? Though it is indescribable, please explain to me again. I am not tired of listening to it. Please explain to me. Please use some words. Avyayam, changeless. Abhavam, did not appear and disappear. It's ever existing. Apurnam, it is whole, complete. Chida, Sukham. These are the words which is used to describe. At least your mind goes inward. When I say camel, your mind goes outward, isn't it? Or a cow, your mind goes out. But if I say, oh, where does your mind go? There is no object outside like that. So when I use a word which doesn't kick you to move out, your mind goes inward. So, oh, or chida, sukham, apurnam, these words help you look inward, he says. Move in. So those words are used. Bandha mukti adidam param sukham vindadi jivastu devika. And this state is beyond bondage and liberation. This is another interesting state. Beyond bondage and liberation. I thought I just got liberated by your grace. And you said it is beyond bondage and liberation. You said I am bound. Now you say, I am liberated. How can you say beyond the bondage and liberation? Because when you are liberated, you realize you are never bound. Bondage was only a notion. Liberation also is a notion. I think Maharshi himself gives this example that in an ashram, you have cows, ashram cows, and for milk, and they keep some cows. So every night they will tie the cows in the pen, in the shed. So one day, one rope was missing for the cow. So they tied all the cows, but one cow they couldn't tie. So they came to the Guruji, what should I do now? Don't worry, you pretend you are tying. So he pretended he was tying. But he was doubting the cow may run away because I'm not really tied it. So every night, every 1 hour, he will go and see cow is standing there. Early in the morning, now you have to take out all the cows. All the cows were untied and pushed out. And this cow, it was not tied. So you tried to push him out, cow will not move. It will do like this. Again, he went to the Guruji. What happened, cow? What happened? You go and pretend you are untying the cow. He untied the cow, cow moved. So similarly, that we are bound, that we are unhappy is a notion. That's not true. So your nature is happiness. You are not unhappy. So there is no bondage for you. Has never been. Therefore, there is no liberation. Gandha muktyadidam padam vindadi iha jivastu devita. You attain that state right now in this embodiment. You don't have to give up the body to gain embodied liberation. Jivaha tu devita. Your essential nature is divine. Ahamapedagam nija vibhanagam khadidam tabo ramanavagiyam. Ahamapedagam nija vibhanagam mahadidam tapaha. Tapaha. Tapa means austerity. Spiritual life. Tapa means a spiritual life. Tapa means minimalistic life. So what is the essence of spiritual life? Essential spiritual life is ahamapedagam nija vibhanagam. An ability to observe your ego, that over enjoy. Observe. And then when you observe it, you transcend and realize your real nature. Amapedagam, vibhanagam, and then abiding in your real nature, observing the ego and its various vyabharas and activities, which it doesn't affect you. Like you watch a movie. Watch a movie, it doesn't affect you. You enjoy it. But you are not part of the movie. Movie, there is rain, you bring the umbrella, or there is fire brigade, nothing in there. You are only observing that. So observe the ego and the various roles it is playing in the light of consciousness. Abide there. This is the greatest of the Mahadidam Tabaha, spiritual life. Ramana Vagiya. This is all I have to say, says Maharshi. Ramana. The rest is you. Run with it, he said. So 1 minute to you. Pay our great respect to this great Maharshi, who made the scriptures very simple for us. And he lived an authentic life so that we all can get inspiration. That it is possible. It is not an impossible dream. The 1 minute, we pray at the lotus feet. We touch our head at the lotus feet of Maharshi Ramana. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavachishyate Om Asadoma Sadgamaya Om Asadoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Paschit Prabhav Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Namaha Hari Om. Namaste to all of you.
Swamiji, on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you for coming all the way from Michigan to spend the past 2 days with us. We are being treated to a wonderful experience where you were able to break down the Maharshi's Upadesa Saram in such a simple and easy to understand manner, and along the way injecting your special sense of humor to drive the message home. So we are deeply grateful to you. You can get that show, please. Swami,
I also thank you, Sridhar, for inviting me. And it's my privilege to talk about Maharshi Ramana. I'm a great devotee of Maharshi. I've been teaching these two texts, Upadesa Saram and Saram, for so many years. And it was a rare privilege for me to come here. I was here in November for 1 week, giving some talk in the temple and something. And when I met the Swami, it was a great opportunity to share experience, the teachings. It's so pure, so crystal clear, and no much is very, very clear. No other appendage or anything. So thank you. Okay, Hari Om. Dr. Swami, you can. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Can I request Hari to take all this?
just wanted to add a couple of quick things. Special thanks to Dr. Swami and Mahiaka for opening the home to us. We've been there since. We've been in that house since Thursday, morning and evening, and they moved all the furniture away and cleared their house totally for us, even arranging, lunch, dinner. So we're extremely grateful for that. We are going to have a photograph session at 1:30 today, so please join us here so that you can be part of the photograph. The other thing is there are some photographs of the Maharshi in the back here. So please feel free to take as many as you want from that. And lunch, I think, is ready. So please, thank you. One more addition to the program. So the parents and the children have been practicing a song. So they are going to perform that right after the photograph session at 1.
Question.
Ah,
Is there a specific YouTube or something of your
yeah,
that you would recommend?
Sambodh.us.
Some
Visit Sambodh.us.
somewhere.us. Like today's type of thing will be available.
Yeah, there'll be some talks on Gita.
Somewhere.us.